The Coven by Carter Brown Chapter 1. It figured that Hector Mulvane, the great English actor, would occupy one of the bungalows on the grounds of the most exclusive Beverly Hills hotel. For a guy of his stature, it wouldn't have surprised me if he'd rented two bungalows, one for himself and one for his butler. I knocked on the door, and it was opened 10 seconds later by a chick wearing a dinky beach robe, which hung open over an even dinkier bikini. She was around 25 tall, with a slender body and long, graceful legs. Her breasts were on the smallish side, but they looked firm enough, with just a suggestion of nipple showing beneath the bikini top. Her eyes were a slumberous hazel color, and her upper lip had a delicately wanton curve. "I'm Rick Holman," I told her. "Mr. Mulvane's expecting me." "And you're right on time, Mr. Holman. Won't you come in?" She opened the door wider. "I'm Brenda Mulvane, his wife." A mocking glint appeared in her eyes for a moment, as if she was laying down some challenge to which I was expected to rise. She closed the front door after I stepped inside the bungalow, then turned and led the way into the living room. As I followed her, I watched the backs of her smooth thighs, rising to the small cheeks of her bottom, which moved with an athletic firmness that didn't do much for my libido beyond giving it a small twitch. The great English actor was sprawled comfortably in an armchair, wearing only a pair of gaudy Hawaiian shorts. His thick gray-brown hair was brushed neatly across his head from a side part, and his beard had been trimmed with a military precision. A dense mat of fur covered his bare chest, and his lean stomach was sucked in tight without any apparent effort. For a guy who had to be at least 55, he looked in real good physical shape. "Darling," his 30 years younger wife said. "This is Mr. Holman." The piercing, pale blue eyes stared up at me from under the shaggy eyebrows for a couple of seconds. Then he nodded. "Get us a drink, love, will you?" He took time out to scratch his bare chest. "Sit down, Holman. What are you drinking?" "Bourbon on the rocks, thanks," told him. He made a sharp grimace. "That vile American counterfeit for real whiskey. Every man to his own poison, I suppose." Then he looked up at his patiently waiting wife. "Scotch and soda, love, and don't you bloody well dare to put any ice in it." "One of these days," she purred softly, "I'm going to pack your you-know-what in ice, and then feed you a number of fast drinks. That way, we'll find out for sure if Scotch is the great aphrodisiac you always claim it is." "It's fascinating." Mulvane paused for a moment while he watched his wife walk across to the bar and start making the drinks. "She makes frigidity sound like revolutionary chic." Brenda gave a short, unpleasant laugh. "With you, sweetie," she said, her English accent becoming more pronounced. "One doesn't have much of an alternative." "There you are, you see, Holman." Mulvane beamed across at me. "What do you think? Do you sense the ripples beneath the apparently placid surface?" "The two of you are so cute," I grunted. My toes are already curling with embarrassment. "You're a snotty bastard, Holman, aren't you?" "Yes," I said truthfully. "I'm used to people hanging on my every word with a look of reverential awe on their faces," he said cheerfully. "Because I am the great actor, Hector Mulvane. What makes you so special you think you can afford to be rude to me?" "Perhaps he's a fag, darling," the woman suggested over her shoulder. "Just can't stand to hear about anyone's heterosexual fun and games." "I expect you're just not his type, love," he said easily. "So, what do you think his type would be?" Mulvane gestured expansively at me. "Is she your type, Holman? Would you jump into bed with her?" "He's rather hoping you would," Brenda said to me. "He likes to think he's sexually emancipated, and as long as he can watch and not get in the way, he'll feel young and with it again." "I still say you're both too cute," I snarled. "Listen, I didn't come here to listen to you playing at suburban swingers, so if you've got nothing to say," Mulvane chuckled gleefully. "Did you hear that, love? First, he's not impressed with a great actor like myself, and secondly, he's not even impressed by your erotic charms. The man is nothing less than a bloody reactionary." She served the drinks, then perched on the arm of her husband's chair and rested one hand lightly on his shoulder. "Don't you think you should tell Mr. Holman what it's all about?" she asked in a patient voice. "You can see he's not a man to mix business with pleasure." "I suppose you're right, love." He took a firm grip on her nearest bare thigh, then scowled at me. "You come highly recommended, Holman, the discreet fixer of private problems for people like me who are always fixed in the public spotlight. I have two very difficult problems worrying me right now." "Called Amanda and Kirk, Mulvane?" I queried. His scowl deepened. "My two charming and spectacularly undevoted children. When they can spare the time from telling the world press what a miserable bastard of a father I am, they're generally busy getting themselves out of one messy scandal straight into the next. I haven't read a single line about either of them in the last couple of months," I said. "I know." He nodded vigorously. "That's what worries me, Holman. It means they're both up to some dreadful kind of no-good, which is about to burst upon us in spectacular headlines at any moment. I'm offering you a very simple assignment. Find out what it is they are doing and stop it." "You're kidding?" "I'm completely serious," he barked. "It's vital that no breath of scandal besmirch the name of Mulvane for at least the next 3 months." "Hector is being unduly modest," his wife said easily. "There's a strong rumor about a knighthood coming his way, and he doesn't want anything, especially his 2 children, to ruin the whole thing before it even gets off the ground. Sir Hector Mulvane." He stroked his beard complacently. "It has a kind of ring to it, don't you think, Holman?" "No," I said, "but it's not my problem. Do you bloody well want this assignment or not?"